In this video, I thought it'd be pretty cool to add some knife combat stuff to your game. We have a knife right here. And I changed the default knife animation to carry animation, right? That's kind of the main goal of this video. So I could shoot him with a gun, but that might draw other zombies. So put that away. And then we're going to pull that knife out. We're hiding it. Nothing to see here. Going up, sneaking up on our zombie. Boom, boom. Got him. Barely even heard it. I thought that'd be pretty cool. So one of the things that I really want to focus on, though, is when we put the knife away, nothing funny happens. And when you pick the knife up, it goes right into the animation, right? It doesn't go out in the default tool animation, then go back. Let's go ahead and get started with that. So I got an empty base plate right here. There's nothing in my world. First thing I think I'm going to do is get a knife mesh. So I'm going to go to the toolbox and then hope somebody made a really cool knife in Blender somewhere. Let's look for mesh parts. There we go. And then knife. Cool. And the one in the demo I like. This one. I like that one. That was pretty cool. But it is kind of big, right? So we're going to have to make that smaller. In order to kind of figure out what size I want, I think I'm going to get Avatar, go to the Avatar tab, Rig Builder. I'm going to use an R15. This will work with R6, but if you don't know what you're doing, you should probably use R15 first, right? Let's go ahead and get, I don't know, maybe Mesh Avatar. And now we know how big we should make the knife. And we're going to need that for our animation too. So I want to scale this. Let's go ahead and scale that. Pick the scale button. Hold down the Alt so that it scales all together. And I play around with some of the sizes. Let's take a look at the size. I think what I want is maybe 0.5 here. Just getting pretty close. 0.5. That's good. But I'm going to make it a little thicker because I want to make it like kind of Robloxy, right? So maybe get this blue. Don't hold the Alt. We're just going to make that thicker that way. And then you want to do it this way too? Why not? There we go. A little bit more kind of Robloxy. All right, so let's call this mesh/combat knife. I'm going to call this handle. All right, and then we're going to get a tool from the workspace. So go workspace, hit the plus, and then tool. Now this tool is going to be my knife. I just kind of clicked on it so that the text changed. Knife. And then I'm going to get this handle, drag it in the knife, and now we're going to put it on the rig so we can place it. Cool. Not quite the way we want it. That's all right. We're just going to change the grip position a little bit. So with your knife selected, accidentally clicked off of it, click that. Go to, how about the move? And this is the tool now. This isn't the handle. The handle's not selected. Let's go down to our properties. If you move this, it's going to mess things up. You need to do grip position, not the actual tool position. So I'm going to go to grip position, and this is going to be different on every knife because it depends on how it's imported and created in Blender, right? Or Maya, that's another one. How about for the Y? I'm thinking Y because the green is going this way on the local axis. Let's do 0.5. See what happens. Hit enter. Boom. It went back. Wrong way. How about negative 0.5 on the Y? That's pretty good, right? Now, how does that look this way? Not bad. We want to turn it so that the blade is down, or at least I do. I think his grip is okay this way. You could change a few things, but let's try the orientation. Let's try and move that up a little bit. How about 90 degrees for the orientation on the Y? Oh, bummer. It rotated it so that the blade's up. And I wanted it to actually change this way. I just flipped the knife. But since we're there, let's try a negative 90. That's the blade down. So I do want that. Let's go to our X, the first value, right? And then I'll change that to 20. Oh, that's downward. Let's make it negative 20. See what we got there. Yeah, that's not bad, right? That's a pretty good grip position. I mean, you could make it a little bit better. But for a Roblox game, that's pretty nice. So we're going to need at least 2 animations, right? One for the idle. We're not doing anything. The default idle. We're going to overwrite it. And then another for a combat maneuver. So we'll go ahead and click our rig, hit animation editor. If that doesn't show up, just turn it on and off again. Sometimes it doesn't work. Then you just got to do it again. We have our rig selected. Let's call this, how about knife idle? Knife idle. So up here in the corner, the left corner of our animation editor window. And just hit enter. I'm going to go to these 3 dots. And sometimes, like holding the knife behind your back, the idle animation doesn't quite work right. So I am going to bump up the idle priority to movement, right? There we go. And that's going to work a little bit better. Oh, and I spelled idle wrong. Let me just go ahead and change that. There we go. But you can spell whatever you want, as long as you recognize it. Okay, I can save this, and then I think I'll just grab that arm right there. Just bring it back. 1, 2, 3. That's like a 3. I have this set to 15-degree increments, and then maybe I'll just rotate this to hide it. Nothing to see here, man. And then maybe the hand just a little bit, or maybe just put a keyframe on there so you'll stab yourself. Cool. I kind of like it hidden more. That'll work. All right, so we got that like that. I'm going to toggle looping animation. I'm going to hit these 3 dots. I'm going to save it. Hit the 3 dots again, and then we'll publish to Roblox. Knife idle. That's good. You're going to have to make this smaller if you can't see your save. Creator, me, I think this is good. Asset category, animation. Yep. Save. Get this ID right here. Click on it. Boom. Click on those boxes right there. It says ID copied. Close. Now we got to save this. So I'm going to go up to my knife. I'm going to hit this plus. I'm going to hit an A for animation. Maybe an AN would have been better. Animation. Right. Look for that animation ID. Click on the right. Control V to paste. Hit enter. And then our asset ID stuff is prepended. Yeah, we got it. Cool. We can go ahead and change the name of this this animation. Let's call it Knife Idle. Knife Idle. And let's make another animation. So click here to continue using the animation editor. Good. And I'm going to go over to these 3 dots. I'm going to look for something that says create new. How about that? That'll work. And this will be like, how about like upward stab or something. Upward attack. Anim. All right. And then I'm going to hit these 3 dots. I'm going to go to set animation priority. This is going to be an action, right? So when I click on something or somebody, we're going to swing at it. And then we can go ahead and save that again. I'm just going to grab his arm. I'm going to pull this back. Right. And we might want to overwrite that. You could do more than this, right? I'm keeping this kind of simple. I think I want to keep that about this way. I just want to have keyframes on his arm so nothing overrides my knife attack. I'm going to copy this, and he's going to hold this for just a split second so that we see the full effect. So I'm just going to move the scrubber bar out. What is that? 1, 2, the second frame, paste keyframes, and then let's do it again. Let's go to like the 5th keyframe. I'm going to paste again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go that way. Like that. Maybe like that. And then let's hold that for just a split second too. So copy these keyframes right here. And then maybe go out 2 more frames. Paste. Let's try it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, you could put a trigger, an event here so that it will trigger when it's playing. And that way you could check to see if you're close to your character right here. But I'm going to make it a little bit simpler than that, right? So I'm just going to save this off. Save, just in case you need to edit it. Hit the dots again. Publish to Roblox. Upward attack anim. That look good. Save. Get this ID. Copy that. Close this. And now we need to go to our knife. Is it up here? It is up here. There we go. Hit the knife. Hit the plus. there's my animation, right? And then here, let's get rid of this window so I have more room. This is going to be the upward attack. Upward attack. Let's call them anim. Let's call this one anim too. Knife idle anim. Maybe a little more descriptive. All right. So on that upper attack anim, don't forget to put your ID. Control V. Now let's add some more tool stuff, right? We're going to need a local script when we click on something. So on the knife, hit the plus, and then we'll add a local script. And then a local script, maybe we'll say something like stab or attack. Yeah, how about attack? And then we're going to get a server script. So on the knife, hit the plus, and then this is going to be script, right? That's the server script. This is where we're going to do our damage and stuff. So I'm just going to call this damage. That's just my convention. I'm going to need a remote event. So on the knife, hit the plus. Now the remote event is going to let the attack talk to the damage, right? So when we click on something, we have to damage them on server side. So we need RE for remote event. That's going to be a little gateway in between these two scripts from the client to the server. And I think I'm just going to call this, how about attack RE. And what else? Let's get a sound while we're playing around with the tool, right? So we got the knife. Let's go over to home, and then we'll go to toolbox. And then we have it set to mesh parts. Let's go to audio. And what did I search on? I wrote it down because it was kind of a cool sound. Was it sword swoosh? Sword slash. I see it right there. 1 second. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? And you could have different sounds for different things that happen, but let's just keep it simple. Now, on the knife, I want this to be on a part so we get the sound roll off where we're moving away from it. And you can only either do that on a base part or some sort of part. A mesh part will work, or an attachment. So I'm just going to put it on the handle. Just click that, and then when you click insert, it should go on the handle. That should work. Sweet. Let's go to our attack, the local script. It's like kind of blue, a little computer on it. Open that up. Let's get rid of our print statement right there. We'll do local knife equals script.parent. And what else? Let's get our remote event, right? We have our attack RE, attack RE, and that will be on the knife. We'll do a wait for child, colon, attack RE. What else? Let's get a variable for the player. Whoops, I spelled player wrong. Player equals, we'll set it to nil for now. And then we'll get one for the character. We're going to need that. We'll get a variable for the idle track equals, set that to nil for now. And then, we're going to need the attack track, right? So we'll say attack track. All right. And what else? Oh, our mouse. And then what else? Connection. That's for our activate connection, right? Make that nil. We're going to need our idle anim and our attack anim, right? That, not the tracks, but the anims themselves, the animations themselves. So where is that? We'll do idle anim equals, it's on the knife, and then knife idle anim. Whoops, there we go. We'll get a variable for, what did I call it? Upward attack. Upward attack anim, right? That's also on the knife. Upward attack anim. We're going to need a function for our activated. So when we click, I'm just going to scroll the code a little bit so we have more room. We'll do a local function, and that's going to be on activated to handle our tool activated event. All right, what are we going to do? This is when we're attacking somebody. So let's get our attack track and we'll play it. And then we'll also have to send something to our server script using attack RE, the remote event. We're going to fire server, and we're going to tell the server side stuff to do some damage. We're going to get the mouse, target, the thing we clicked on, and then the mouse dot hit dot position, send that on over. So we'll capture that attack RE on the damage script, right? The remote event is the gateway between the client and the server. Let's see here what we got to do. We're going to get the knife. We're going to capture the equipped event. We're going to connect that. I think I'm going to connect it to an anonymous function right here, right? And then we're going to initialize a bunch of variables, right? We have this attack track here, but there's no value. We got to do a bunch of stuff. We got to get our player first, right? We'll get the player, game.players, that's the player service. And we could do .local player because this is a local script. And then let's get our character, because we need the humanoid, to load animations. So character equals player dot character. I call it char because it's easier to spell, right? And then we'll say or player dot character added :wait, just in case it's not ready, which probably won't be a problem here. And then we're going to need the humanoid from the character. So hum equals char, wait for child, humanoid. Make sure you spell that right. And then we're going to get the animator from the humanoid, wait for child, animator. Right, the ones that I spell wrong the most, I don't seem to get the IntelliSense for when I need it. That's all right. I think we got it. Animator. All right, now if our idle track is nil, right? So if idle track is nil, we need to start it up because we just picked up the knife. Ooh, that's an equals equals, right? Equals equals for comparison. Equals equals. We just picked it up. So we'll say idle track equals animator. We're going to load up the animation. And once again, it cut off my animator. It cut off my IntelliSense. Animator, load animation. Sorry. And that will be the idle anim. I get it confused with here a lot, right? Because if I'm not paying attention, this is my anim, that's my track. We're also going to do this. Oh, I hate when that happens. We're also going to do this for the attack, right? So we have our idle. And then we have our attack track. That one. But if I click on it, it's going to mess up my spelling. That's good. That's good. And then this one, I called it something slightly different. What did I call that? I called it upward attack anim. Probably could have done a little better with my naming conventions. So anim here, anim there, track here, track there. We picked up the weapon. Let's get we want to get the idle track working, right? So we'll say idle track, play. Now, the two other things we have to get is the mouse, right? We got to get the mouse equals player. There we go. Colon. There's a get mouse. Gets the mouse. And then we'll do the connection, right? We got to get our connection. Set that up. We'll have our knife dot activated connect. And then we'll say on activated, right? So that's going to create the connection so that when you do clicking on stuff, this is going to fire. Let's try it out, right? And we want to see if we have that funny thing where the default animation kicks in. Oh, we gotta get the knife in our backpack. So here's our knife. It's under the rig. I'm gonna drag this. We can put it on the ground, but I think I'll just put it in starter pack. You should test both though, right? Yeah, it's gonna be at starter pack. There we go. Ah, what happened? All right, that's okay. It's not going away, but we didn't do an unequipped yet. Let's try it one more time because it looked like it might be going up a little bit. It did. See how it went up real quick and then went down? I'm going to show you how to fix that right now. All right, the easiest way to fix that, there's a lot of fixes, but the easiest way to fix that without messing up your default tool animation, I'm going to go to my rig right here. I'm going to get this animate script. I'm going to drag it down to starter player. I'm going to move the animate into starter character scripts. I'm going to open the animate. I'm going to do a search for, I think it's something like tool transition time. And it's just a little too quick. So I'm going to say 0.15. If you run into trouble again, which you might, because I've tried a few different animations now, One more thing you can try. I'm going to do a Control F, search on tool transition. And this is actually probably the better solution, right? Let's go down here where it says animate tool none. That's the default. Go ahead and plop a task.wait 1.5 here. That'll give enough time to get your animation started. I think this is even better, but I don't think I'm going to need it for this animation. But that's one more tool in your arsenal, so to speak, so that you can try it out. Let's go ahead and play our game and see what we got for our animation. And we'll go here. That's a little better, right? And you can slow it down even more. Unfortunately, we don't unequip, but I think we're doing all right. Let's just look for the output, make sure we don't have any errors. Nice. All right, let's keep this open just in case we want to make it a little bit slower, right? Because that's what's keeping you from popping that tool up when you switch over. I got a couple other tricks too. Let's see. We don't want damage. We want attack. We're going to do the unequipped, right? So let's go down here. We'll get our knife. We're going to do the unequipped, connect that to a function. There we go. So for unequipped, I'm going to turn things off and I'm going to go back to my normal animation. So we'll just get the player, make the player nil. I'm going to scroll up a little bit so I got some more room to code. And then the mouse, you can set that to nil. And let's do our connection, disconnect. So when we click on things, the activate doesn't fire. If idle track is not nil, right? So the idle track has been initialized and has a value. We'll do the idle track stop. Now we're going to have to do something a little extra. I want to show you what we're going to get though, just with this. So when we do the play, you're going to still see some funny movement. This part should be good, right? But now watch what happens. See his hand kind of fling up like that? So let's go ahead right here. So get rid of that little fling up. I'm going to go back to my attack. And I could slow down the stop, right? Because there's a transition time of now we have 0.15. We could do like, how about 0.2? Slow that stop down. But more importantly, before we stop it, we unequipped. Let's just wait. How about we wait 0.2 seconds? Let's do that. See what we got. Hit the play. That looked good. Oh yeah, look at that. The knife disappears. The hand goes back. That's a lot better. And I don't think we need to slow this down a little bit. Sometimes you see it pop up a little bit when you go to get it, but I think it's pretty good. And there's our stab, right? There's our stab. But we have to do damage for the stab. Turn that off. Let's go back to, I think attack is done. Let's go on over to damage. Get started with that. The damage is going to be activated from the remote event on the attack script. So if we look at the attack, we go up to the top. I'm going to need these two lines of code. I'm going to need the knife. I'm going to need the attack RE because I'm going to have to capture that remote event. Control C, go back to damage. Boom, Control V. All right, what else? Let's go ahead and set some damage. Maybe 50. Let's get a reference to our handle. Oh, we got a sound on the handle too, right? That's what we'll need the handle for that. So we'll say handle equals knife dot handle, and then we'll get our sound. I'll just call it SND for sound. Handle : wait for child. Sword slash. Right, that was on the handle. Let's do local function on attack, right? Or on stab or whatever you want to do. You're going to get the player because it's coming from a remote event. We're going to get the target and we're going to get the hit, right? We'll do, how about, what's our attack RE? Attack RE dot on server event connect. That's what we'll do on attack. Yeah, nice. And now when we do the attack, let's play the sound. sound, colon, play. What else are we going to need? Let's check to make sure the target exists and the target dot parent exists. We're going to need the humanoid. So let's do local hum equals target dot parent. And I'll do a find first child to see if there's a humanoid associated with the target's parent. So if we click this arm, the parent will be the character. Find first child for humanoid. If you find the humanoid, oh yeah, you got a character, right? So that'll be pretty good. Let's check to see if the humanoid exists, because we might have clicked something else, like a tree or something, right? Let's just do, how about, because we're not triggering damage in the animation itself. The animation, the knife was farthest away from you at the 5th frame, if you'll recall. Well, there's 30 frames a second, so at about 1.67 seconds or so. So I'm not capturing the event on the animation. I am just going to time it, right? So how about 1.7 seconds? Maybe 1.6. How about that, right? So that'll your knife will be fully extended about that time. And we'll do a local. We need to get the humanoid root part from us. Now we have the humanoid. I am going to go up one level to the character, then dot down to humanoid root part. And you could be extra careful if you want to do a wait for child there or find first child, but I think it's going to be there. I think it's going to be all right. Then what I'm going to do is do a local distance equals. I want to see how far away I am from my target. I have my hit that came over from the mouse. And then I'm going to do the handle dot position. It's another reason why we needed the handle. I'm going to find the magnitude. Magnitude. Always spell that wrong. Let me scroll a little bit. All right. If the distance is less than a threshold, how far away do you want to be, right? Do you want to be like 3 studs away? That's probably pretty good, but you can increase this if you want to hurt the person farther away, right? We'll get the humanoid and then do a take damage. That'll be the damage value we defined up top. All right, let's try it real quick. All right, let's go in here. We have our rig. Go here. Nice. Cool. Now, one thing I did notice, and I do this a lot with my videos, I don't go over accessories, except every now and then when I do like ray casting, I'll say, how do you get rid of these accessories? So if I click his hair, he's not getting damaged, right? Because that's actually a hat accessory. Let's go ahead and fix that. And I don't feel like doing any ray casting, so I'm just gonna do it with some code here. I'm gonna make a function, local function, hum accessory. I spell accessory right. Pass in the target that we clicked on. If the target dot parent colon is a accessory, then let's get the character that has the accessory on. So we'll say char equals target dot parent, right? We know that exists. We're not really positive if this parent exists, right? Because if you had like trees in the workspace, the parent's not gonna exist. So you could do a check there. If char, then, what the heck, right? How about we'll get a humanoid, char, wait for child, and then we'll do humanoid, right? So we went handle, that was the target. The parent would be the accessory. The parent of the accessory would be the character. We go down a level to get the humanoid, and then we can return the humanoid. How do we use that? Well, if we get down here, if there's no humanoid, we can do another if statement. How about that? If hum equals nil, then, then let's check for an accessory. Let's say hum equals hum accessory target. And if there was no humanoid, this is going to be nil because then we didn't pass anything back, right? So it's just a default nil. That'll be pretty good. That'll just make sure that you can hit your accessory. Let's try it. Probably should put like a tree in here or something. Click that, make sure that it doesn't give it an error. There we go. I'm going to get his hat. There we go. Just weren't close enough. All right, looking good. What happens if I hit the spawn location? Yep, can't do nothing there. The knife kind of passes right through him. You could do more with that, putting that back like that. But video, you got to be kind of quick, so you can't spend too much time on all your keyframes. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Good luck with that one.